it seems like you guys both are very out, outward focused, opportunity focused, meeting people, like really being present in your lives. Where did that come from? Does that come from young? Did you guys have to learn that in a way? Was that through trial and error? Where has this attitude and perspective for you guys come from? Where have you guys built this?
I feel like it's a mix of both things. Like people always tell you, like you'll talk to. I've recently indulged into asking older people for wisdom. Like, what would you tell? What would you give? What advice would you give yourself if you were my age? And most people say like just like be present, like enjoy it. Life goes by in a blink of an eye. When you least expect it, you're my age. Like that's what they usually say. So like you grow up. I grew up hearing that a lot, but I feel like it's kind of like a very conscious process where you have to like actually sit and actually enjoy, and then you go through life, and then you go back and reminisce, and you're like, damn, like I really I should have been more present. Well, I was enjoying this part of my life or this part of my life, so now I try to be as present as possible.
I wanted to have a lot of control over everything, and then for some reason I was confident enough to move to America at 17 years old, and I just did it. And I sat on that plane and looked down, and it was just water, and I was like, "Whoa, I really have no control over like literally anything." And I think ever since then, I've kind of just been taking every opportunity, like kind of just say yes. That's why I
Yeah.
just walked past you.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like I should just do it.
In the sense that you get to meet a lot of people from like different countries with different backgrounds and everything, and all of that feeds into like who you become as a person. You know.
That's the best part about America. Is when it's two Mexicans and a Swedish guy
Exactly.
having a conversation that only happens in America, and I
Exactly.
love that for sure.
And that attitude of it all working out for the both of you when you were younger. How is that now playing an active role and maybe allowing you to live what you might say is a freer life, or I'm not sure how would you describe your life currently, that having this advice and giving it to yourself, or implementing that practice, what does that look like in your daily life?
Ooh, good question. You're really eating with these questions right now. I think I guess like as I've gotten older, I realize that like things do generally like work out. And if something doesn't work out for me, that means it probably wasn't meant for me in the first place. And I think also being around people, like friends that like love you and support you and are very much like willing to like help you like when you need it. I feel like really like helped me like make me feel like more free and realize like I can actually just do whatever I want. Like I don't have to worry about like things are like going on. Like if this makes me feel good, then I should continue doing it.
And in what sense? In your personal life, professional life, relationships?
Everything. It just worth it. I mean, it worth trying and fail and learn from it, rather just like let it pass and basically.
And what role has that played in your life? Like, why do you think about, why would you want to give that advice to your younger self? Where does that?
I would probably like. I think I would be just in much better position that I am right now. Like I would have much more success if I would try more like in life in different aspects.
Healing is something that I think everyone should do when they're younger. I think it's made me a much better person, failure. And I think it's natural for us to fear failure. And I think that's totally fine. There's an aspect of why we fear failure just as humans, right? Yeah. Because it can be uncomfortable, it can be devastating. But when you do fail, and then you're, like you said, humble enough to maybe admit that failure, right? I think you become such a powerful human being. And I think that's the advice I'll give my younger self is continue to fail. And I want to continue to fail right now. I think every time I fail in an interaction with a person, when I fail in a relationship, when I come up short as whatever it is, a boyfriend, a brother, a friend, and that, or I fail at work or anything I try, I see it as an opportunity truly to learn and to build off of it. And I think self-awareness is extremely important, but I think I was reflecting myself as well as how do we get to the point then where we're not just identifying it in my case, but then also taking action, right? Because that is the biggest part. And a lot of people can point out things that are maybe wrong within themselves or that they've done wrong or in others, but then taking that action to really change and improve themselves is quite difficult. So that's probably advice I would give to my younger self is, it's way easier said than done. Failing is naturally not something we as human beings are built or ingrained to want to do. So yeah, that's probably advice I give myself.
The personality. If you want, if you need to see yourself like somewhere,
yep,
and be bold about that, right?
Okay, so like
if you see somewhere like 10, 20 years away, be very bold about that. If you want to be like, I don't know, president or in the Congress or like CEO someday or whatever, imagine that picture. Like if you won't succeed in getting there, you will be at least halfway there.
I see what you're saying.
Well,
So-
it just makes sense
so
for me.
paint.
For me, it's because of the people that I've met, for sure. Like every time that I will meet people that I wasn't used to back in Mexico City, it opens so much more perspective about what the world is, what the real world is, and that kind of fit into me. You know, like I'm all of the people that I know, and I am all the people that I've met, and the people that I'm with. I'm a mix of all of them, and that like really made my whole perspective and mentality way more bigger than I ever thought it could be.
Beautiful.
And how do we develop that? Because I think that advice is very true. But when you think of your younger selves, is that something we can only do on reflection, right? Or can we learn to do that in the moment as well? Or how difficult is that? Just speaking from maybe your personal experience, or what advice would you give? Just generally, what are your thoughts on that?
Ooh, that's tough. I feel like I can only think about like reflecting because I feel like in high school I was so like worried about like everybody and thinking like, oh my god, like what if people aren't gonna like me, or like what if like, you know, just like always like catastrophizing in my head. So I feel like I don't know, I feel like I try to tell like younger people to be like, okay, like it'll all work out. Like I totally get that you're gonna freak out now, but I want you to know like everything will be fine. So I feel like I can only think about like on reflection to be like, no, like it'll be fine.